like Mr. Trump, The Art of the Deal. Everything is the deal. You can't do anything without the deal. First, you have to sell it to yourself, whatever it is that you want to do. And you have to sell it through all your inferiority feelings, your resistances. That's all part of resistances, big R, that come up immediately when you start to sell. When you start to sell the goal to yourself, what you want. You have to then defend it to yourself. Because if you don't externalize all the internal oppositions, the resistances, you can't control them. If you don't put a label on them, you put the label on them, not somebody, not them. You put the label. These are your resistances. These are your obstacles. This is your internal pain and suffering. These are your internal engrams, which are the re-stimulators that have been innovated, emotional re-stimulators that will come up at any time. They're a monkey in the back of your mind, in the back of your being, I should say. And they come up at any time to foil your best effort. Hypnosis, in this context, is nothing but dehypnosis. You're already hypnotized. You're already hypnotized by what you are not properly prepared to encounter. The past and the future are for the present. But the past is a reality. You drag the past along with you in every present now. In every present moment, you drag the past along with you. The past comes to inform, motivate, incentivize, and limit the present. But that's not all. Then you have the stressors, the tensions of the walk into the unknown, that circle of uncertainty, the gamble that's constantly changing. That's the opposition to what you want to do. That's the external resistance. That's the social environment. I'm not talking about natural. That you can deal with. Objects, they're predictable. They'll behave predictably. But I'm talking about your other social performer that stands at the gate. That is the censor. That has a certain amount of power to stop you, to prosecute you, and you have to be ready for that. You have to be born again hard. That's what I mean when I talk about finding the positivity, minding the positivity out of the negative. That's what I mean when I say the negative is primordial to the positive. The negative comes first. You can't deal with the worst case scenario. You can't deal with it. You can't find a positive. The positive then is just an illusion, just a theory, just a hallucination, just a fantasy. You can't actualize it. You don't know how. You don't have the tools, the self-mastery, the mastery over the tools, and the ability to accurately cold read yourself, the situation, and your opponent, your opposition, in the now, so that you are properly informed to act in your own best self-interest. And that gets down to that other principle, the greed principle. That's more primordial than anything else. And all of this is grounded, and Freud got it right, in my opinion. on hot genital strivings. I call it hot genital strivings. He called it libido theory. We're talking about the same thing. It's a quest to get your sexual fantasies and urgencies met. It's a quest to understand and gain control with your ego. What it is, there shall ego be, of the pressures, the undercurrent. If you want to be hip, then you can use the euphemism and obfuscation of a Tony Robbins who would call it the dark side. To be polite, to be nice. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. He wants to, he's talking to a large, he wants to keep his image. It's worth multi-millions. I don't have any image to keep. I don't have anybody to impress or not impress. I don't care about those things. I do care about wanting to be clear, practical, street smart, and concrete. I'm not here with any pretensions, spiritual pretensions. I'm not trying to talk gibberish. That sounds really good, and practically it's nonsense. That will work if you're in an ivory tower. That will work if you can walk up and down Park Avenue in the daytime. Then your bubble, the boy in the bubble, will remain intact. You won't be effective. You'll be just walking around with the big wigs, the heeled cats. They won't bother. They're into their own thing. But sometime you're gonna have to leave Park Avenue. They'll throw you out. You can't walk up and down there all 24 hours a day. You can't stay in that area. What are you going to do then? Then you're going to be in the gutter with me. Then you're going to be walking through 500 yards of pure shit, working your way through it. Under your own self-sufficiency, under your own self-supports, whatever you got. And that's the way it should be. That's why I like Trump. He's got it right. I like that. I like the notion of the deal. Everything's a deal. So make a deal. Everything is sales. So sell it. First to yourself and then to somebody else. If you don't have any resources, if you don't have it within you, then you're going to have to be a very good actor and sell the act. But if you're short, like me, 5'3", if you're ugly, like me, if you're bald-headed, like me, if you have a fat gut, like me, you have your work cut out for you. You have no personality, you have no appearance, you have no appeal. You're truly Don Quixote, the man from the phony La Mancha, on a quest with no backup. And you're swinging at windmills with a wooden sword. And all you can do is, you're like a fool yelling and screaming in Hyde Park. No one's listening to the damn fool, but he's yelling and screaming. Now I am the Howard Beale. I am Howard Beale from Network. In 2015, he did 1977, Patty Chayefsky's great Network, with an incredible performance by Peter Finch's Howard Beale, the Mad Prophet of the Air. I am Howard Beale. I am that voice in the wilderness. I am that cry in the night. I am the silent scream. And I'm saying to you all of that from an atheistic existential point of view. He's the most primordial. Through that hell, through that thicket, through that jungle, on your own self-resources, you're going to have to work your way out. And that's the 500 yards of pure shit of negativity. You're going to have to work your way out of to forge an identity, to win an identity, to fight for an identity. You can't align yourself, in my opinion, to any groups. You have no backup. The backup is you and what you can do, period. You want something, and what's most important, that will stick with you, that's innovated, that's part of your DNA in a storm. That's the training. That's the preparation. And the whole goal is to get to be secure in yourself. That's the first thing that comes first. That's primordial. Nothing else matters if you're not secure within yourself. If you can't grab the bull by the horns under your own self-motivation and self-regeneration of that motivation, you're finished. You're nothing, in my opinion. That's why I like the Trump, because Trump realizes when you come into the room, before you even talk, before you even say anything, you gotta fight for your piece of attention in the room. Now, good luck to you. You get a guy like Trump. You suck all the, he's like a damn vacuum cleaner. Suck all the attention right out of the room. To the victor belongs the spoils. Principle of war, and it is war. Particularly if you're a short, small, ugly man. Like me. Now, I'm right down there on the ground, right with you. I don't talk from some moral high ground. I don't come off with some Pollyanna virtues. I don't preach pie in the sky sermon. By and by. I see myself as Old Man Winter. I see myself as the storm that's relentless in its fury. And we begin from there. Now, the most important thing is to become a rock and an island, and we take it from there. What is that rock and an island? Nothing but self-sufficiency, self-reliance, standing and falling on your own shield. With nobody to lift you up, you get up under your own power, you don't go, you just lay there. That's why that's why I'm on Jesus' team, because I like the 12 stations to the cross, to Calvary. Jesus went through all kinds of hell, most unimaginable hell you could. That's why I like the Passion of the Christ. He was mocked, he was ridiculed, he was beaten, and every time his cross fell, he had to pick it up under his own power as a man and march to his most horrific execution. On the way, he's mocked, he's spat at, he's beaten. To me, regardless of anything else, that is incredibly sobering. Because it does, when Jesus moved to the cross, it symbolizes in a massive way what I have to go through on a small way, predicated on insignificant, essentially meaningless life. I'm talking about myself. Only meaning it has is what I win for myself along the way. Period. When you die and take that final walk, I walk alone. I am and I alone am totally and completely, totally, any way I can clarify that, responsible and guilty for the consequences, the unintended consequences, and the results of my behaviors. But it doesn't end right there. Along with that, I have the responsibility to establish my identity through that storm, through that hell, through that crucible. And that's how I win my I. It's a consequence of all my action, my reflections on those actions, and the results of those actions, those social actions, and the interpretations I lay on them, all taken together, constitute my I. And I try to hold and grasp that I. And of course I have fantasies about what I'd like that I to be. Insane fantasies. Maybe you emulate, maybe you fantasize a Trumpster, and you want to be powerful and respected like the Trumpster. But you look at the Trumpster very closely, he's way out of shape. He's 69, but he's way out of shape. For all his billions, he's way out of shape. Is that what you want to be? Now, my preference would be we go along the lines of a Bill Pearl, of a Sergio Oliva. I would much prefer, I'd make a Faustian deal to have excellent joints, heavy-duty joints, dense bone structure, perfect metabolism, great genetics like that, and spend my life on a park bench in Central Park in the dead of winter, when the temperature drops to the teens and the rain comes in from all directions, the hawk is blowing hard, and I'm spending the night on the park bench and trying to stay as warm and dry as I possibly can. I'd prefer that, to have all those genetics. I'd prefer to look like a fucking gorilla and have his strength and his power. That's the security I was talking about. That's the person. You can't buy that for all the money in the world. For all of Trump's billions, you can't buy that. I would let Trump live in all of his hotels and his best suites he has there for dignitaries. And I'll stay on that park bench, eat Mickey burgers, the horrible Mickey burgers, and have that perfect genetics so I can try high and hard and lift the way I'd like to lift and physically perform the way I'd like to. And I'd sell my soul to the devil for that. What am I doing here? I'm bringing out and raising and putting the stresses, putting the tensions, putting the contradictions right on the line, and I don't let go of the tensions. I don't forget the tensions. I don't forget the battles. I don't forget the 500 yards of pure, putrid shit that you have to crawl through. That's the negativity to get to the positivity of who you are. I don't stand and talk any spiritual mumbo-jumbo or gibberish. That is makes sense if you're in Maui. If you're nice, Valley High. Now, Rodgers and Hammerstein got it right in South Pacific, the great team. Valley High, buddy. When I was a kid, I always dreamed of Valley High. But damn, I want to be a Valley High, man. Wouldn't that be great? Or being up in heaven, or wherever it is, with my 13 or 14 or 50 virgins. Oh man, wouldn't that be great? How stupid, how ignorant, how myopic can I be to take refuge in those kind of hallucination delusions? Give me the cold, hard winter blast of reality, practical reality, street smart reality, so I can become hardened, born again, hard and tough, to face the reality and the hell of existence out there. And the hell is the other. It's not the obstacles. They don't change. You know what you're dealing with there. The hell is the other performer that stands in your way and says you're not getting in. I don't care how hard you bang, you're not getting in. Deal with it. You can't deal with it if you're not ready and set and prepared. That's why I like Frank Sinatra. He's so well prepared. His arrangements are so perfectly prepared for him that he can get up on a stage and say, here I am, I'm ready, I'm set, shoot, let's go. That's why I like Trump's confidence. I like Trump's aura. And for that alone, nothing else, he's the best man. When you walk into a room, this is the issue. What kind of respect are you getting just walking in? What kind of attention are you getting just walking in? What kind of credit are you getting? How serious are you being taken just walking in? You can't do anything unless you can meet those ideals. And the next question I conclude with, if you're a short, small, ugly man like me, how do you can't look in the box. You have to go outside the box. When you go outside the box, you're on your own, buddy. You're on your own. Being in the box, I mean your TDH, who gets cooperation and support, and he's an in guy. But if you're an outsider, if you're disenfranchised, you're going to have to go outside the box. When you go outside the box, you better know what you're doing, because now you're moving out in the danger zone. You go outside the box to look for your hope, for your answers, for your plans. You stepped into the danger zone. You have no supports anymore. You have to take chances. You have to do things. You have to, yes, you do. There's a point where you're going to have to be reckless and just roll the dice. And then whatever happens is a fate thing. As long as you're well prepared, as long as you're well detailed, and you know what to expect to the best ability possible, you know your limitations. Your strengths come out of your limitation. You have good planning behind you. You pay attention to the details. You observe. And you ask yourself the right questions. You prosecute yourself as ruthlessly and tough as you possibly can. Everything depends on that. So, if you're a short, small, disenfranchised, ugly little guy, you got your work cut out for you. That's why I like the Trump. You know what you're getting. That's why I don't like Bernie Sanders. Who foots the bill is the question. The ultimate question in life to me, who foots the bill? How do the bills? An uncle, I've spoken about this before. And he got it right. I didn't understand it at the time. His first question to me, and his only question, who foots the bill? How do the bills get paid? And my answer to Uncle was naive. It was motivated by fantasies, delusions, projections into hero figures, projecting away whatever little power I had, which wasn't much, into hero figures. Going to the movies, and man, and fantasizing. When I saw Marciano fight, God damn it, that's me. That's me, that's Rocky Marciano, that's me. We saw Elvis Presley perform The Young Elvis. Hey, that's me, that's me, damn it. When I saw Mr. Sinatra perform, hey, that's me, dressed up in them natty clothes. That's me. Getting all those women. That's me. I'm doing that. You see the insanity of running away from the winter blast of reality, from not entering that tunnel of pure putrefying shit and crawling through there. You can't, my point is, you can't fake, you can't steal, you can't forge your positive, whatever that means. Everybody likes to talk about positive, positive. By wishful thinking. You can't forge it by identifying, by comparing yourself with somebody else. You can't forge it by saying, when is it my dance? When is it my chance? Along with Tony Bennett. More castles in the air. These bums should be tried for perpetrating the crime of selling illusions, selling dreams, selling bullshit. In place of heart. They know better. These are businessmen. They know better than that. But they want to sell me a fantasy, a dream, all kinds of bullshit. Which will work if I'm in Alice in Wonderland. My world. And Freud got it right. Lupus hominis lupus, man, the wolf to man.